YouTubers, Vegas Cycling Freak here. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to safely cycle in Las Vegas. Apparently, according to the latest polls I've seen online, Nevada has like the 7th worst drivers in the nation. And as a cyclist and a motorist, I feel like I have to concur with that. It's, you know, people in Vegas, they're always in a hurry. They're aggressive. They drive way too fast. I mean, I swear sometimes when I'm going up Lake Mead on my normal ride to go up to the 215, get on the 215 trail, I've seen people pass by me going, I swear, 70 miles an hour, and the speed limit's like 45, you know. So people speed, they don't know what to do with stop signs, they run red lights, there's drunk drivers that run down bicyclists and kill them. So, you know, it's a challenge to ride your bike here and feel safe. So I'm just going to kind of go over the things that I find happen to me over and over, and just things to look out for and to think about. So the first thing I'm going to say is just a simple phrase: defensive cycling. It's like being a defensive driver. You got to look out for the other guy who's being an idiot, basically, you know. I'm trying to be nice. Okay, so one thing that I find happens to me quite a lot is I'll be going along in the bike lane, and what happens to me a lot is I'll stop at an intersection, wait for the red light, and there's like a shopping center just ahead of the light. So the light turns green, I clip in, I go, and then I'm approaching the entrance to the shopping center, and there's like 6 cars that have to turn in front of me. And you know, because I have a little rear view mirror on my helmet, I can see that there's these people behind me and that they're going to turn. The thing is, you know, some of these people, they think because you're on a bicycle you're going slow, you know, and I'm going, I don't know, 17, 18 miles an hour, and I got all these people turning in front of me, and you know, they're all trying to turn so they don't have to wait for me. And you know, I'm aware of this happening in my mirror, but if I didn't have that mirror on, I have no idea. And you know, one day one of these impatient people might just, you know, kind of half run me over because they wanted to turn the shopping center because they don't want to wait for me. That's something I see quite a lot. And it's even more scary, like if I'm coming back down Lake Mead and I'm going like 30, 32, maybe 34 miles an hour, and I have someone ahead of me who wants to make a right turn. So I'm always wary, are they going to turn in front of me, you know, and I'm going to run into them, and, you know, who knows what kind of injuries I could get when I slam into their car. So that's one that I very consistently run across. Another one is, you know, speeding drivers, speeding like 3 feet away from you. Apparently, I guess there's a law in Nevada now that when you pass a cyclist, if you're able to, you're supposed to get one lane over and then, you know, move back into the lane that you were in, adjacent to the bike path, if there is one. 98% of the drivers that pass me don't do that, and I'd say, like, you know, 90% of them are going at least 5 to 10 miles over the speed limit. So once again, even when I'm just riding my bike and I'm constantly just kind of glancing in my rear view mirror, see, you know, who's coming up behind me, how fast are they going, what kind of car is it, do they look like they're drunk, are they swerving around the road? I mean, these are the kinds of things you got to think about here in Las Vegas. There's like a bar on every corner, you know, there's alcohol available in every store, there's people trying to drive around drunk at like 2 in the afternoon. You know, it's a real thing, which brings up another subject. In the summertime, you know, I leave to go on my rides at like 4:45 or 5 in the morning, so that, you know, by the time I get home, it's only like 95 degrees. You know, I'm trying not to get a heat stroke and get a bike ride in. But, you know, when I go like on Friday morning or Sunday morning or Saturday morning, whenever I'm out there, that's another thing that's always in my mind is, okay, I've got a green light, I'm going to go through the green light, but, you know, do I have a drunk driver who's going to just blow through the light and run me over? I have to look for that stuff. It's happened here. I've seen it on the news too many times where, you know, I remember one where a lady hit a dad and his daughter and killed the dad. They were on bicycles, killed the dad, and she had his body on her car for like, I think it was a mile, and then she stopped and got out and pushed the body off and tried to get back on the car and drive, and I guess that's when someone said, you know, hey, what's going on here? But, you know, that's the kind of stuff that happens here. I'm sure it probably happens in other cities too, but there seems to be a real propensity for cyclists getting killed by drunk drivers, or just someone coming up behind them and hitting them. That's happened several times in the last like year and a half. So that's a very real concern. The other thing is, like, sometimes because the dumb traffic light system here, you get stuck in these awkward situations where, say, you're going downhill, you might be doing, you know, 30 miles an hour, and the light changes right as you get there. So now you're like, well, do I have to slam on the brakes and, you know, lock up the wheels and skid in the intersection, or do I just blow through the intersection as fast as I can and hope some other guy isn't like, oh, the light just turned green, and they gun it and you're there at the wrong time? You know, that's another kind of thing you got to think about here in Las Vegas. You know, that's just the way it is. It probably sounds a little blunt, but I mean, that's the way it is. Distracted drivers is another thing. About 6 weeks ago, I was on my normal ride up to the Red Rock Scenic Overlook. I'm on Highway 159. All I did is look down for half a second at my bike computer, and apparently some guy in a white vehicle swerved into the bike lane, and I guess just barely missed me, and then, you know, got back into his lane. And you know, it took me a few seconds. I was like, dude, that dude, he just nearly ran me over. So, you know, case in point, I could have been another one of those guys on the news, got ran over from behind by a motorist who was either drunk or distracted or whatever. You know, it happens a lot around here, so that's why I have the phrase now, defensive cycling. You know, motorcycles, no one sees motorcycles here. They're not looking for motorcycles. Even when I'm coming down the street and I got my 500 lumen flashing light in the daytime, people still don't see me. So you have to be extra careful. You got to be the defensive cyclist. You have to expect that guy is not going to stop at a stop sign, because people don't know what to do with stop signs here either. No one knows. They don't have any concept of what the right of way is. I mean, seriously, it seems that way. So, you know, and if you're a cyclist, you're approaching a four-way intersection, it's a stop sign on all four, you know, no one knows what to do. You gotta be smart. Don't insist on your right of way. Just let all these fools get out of the intersection, and then you go. You know, it doesn't hurt to use hand signals, although probably most motorists don't understand them. I know I sound like I have a real thing against motorists. I'm one also. But, you know, I'm looking out for, like, cyclists and pedestrians more. Well, you know, the pedestrians is a whole other topic. I swear, like, every other day a pedestrian's getting killed here now by a motorist that's either drunk, or the pedestrian's trying to cross somewhere in the middle of the street at night and they got all dark clothes on, you know, they get ran over. It happens a lot around here. It happens to cyclists. So you can't be too careful. Be a defensive cyclist. Okay, so now, aside from vehicles, which is the biggest danger to a cyclist here, you got to look out for things in the bike lane if you have one. I've found a lot of times some of the bike lanes, you know, I've got my dark glasses on in the summertime. I'm coming down in the bike lane and going like 25-30 miles an hour, and there might have been a bunch of wind the night before. It can blow branches off and they'll fall and they'll land in the bike lane, and you know, you might be rolling along and you don't see it till the last second. Be a great way to cause you to crash. So you got to look out for debris in the bike lanes too. Or sometimes I've even seen valve covers that somehow got pulled out, and it's like halfway in the little hole and halfway sticking out. So you got this thing sticking up like this high that, you know, if you're not watching what's up ahead, you can hit that thing and that'll cause you to crash, and you know, it could not end well. The other thing is also try to avoid running over branches, the little branches that fall off the acacia trees, because those things have like inch-long thorns, and I happened to run one over. I don't know, I think it was last summer, and it didn't cause my tire to pop immediately, but the next morning I came into my room where my bike was, and I'm like, I got a flat tire. And you know, I rolled the tire around, I see this like little white thing, little tiny white thing sticking out, and it's an acacia thorn, like, you know, an inch long, that got stuck in my tire. So, you know, another reason, try not to run over branches and stuff in the bike lanes. Then other than that, you know, obviously it's things like in the summertime, stay hydrated. You know, when you start out here in the summer, it never gets below like 85 or 90 for like about 4 months. So you know, you got to stay hydrated. You know, if you're a real salty sweater, carry a salt tablet. You know, stay hydrated. You know, pay attention to that stuff. It's the opposite thing in the winter. You know, don't be underdressed. Don't overdress. You know, if you're overdressed, you sweat too much, and you get cold. And you know, if you get stuck out, if it should happen to rain, and you're unprepared, you know, it's a bad situation. You might be an hour from home. You'd be practically hypothermic by the time you get home, with the biting cold wind that can blow down off these mountains here. So, you know, that's not necessarily a safety issue, but you know, it's just more of a be a wise cyclist. So, those are kind of the things that I've found as far as safety issues here that I most consistently run across. So, you know, if you're new to cycling here in Vegas, I hope this video helps you with some pointers about things to look out for. Oh yes, and the other thing, of course, try to wear a bright colored kit so you're more seen. You know, I've seen some people wearing like the fluorescent orange and green things. I'm not into that, but I try to wear things that are bright, you know, bright reds and oranges and blues in there. And oh yes, I almost forgot this. Another thing is lights. If you're starting out like 5 in the morning in the summertime, you want a flashing light in the rear, and a light that's bright enough to see well in front of you, but not so bright that you're going to blind drivers. So the lights that I like, I got them at REI. They're by a company called Saigo Light, and the one I have has like 5 or 6 modes, and the brightest one is like, I think it's 550 lumens flashing. So I like to use that one in the daytime if I'm like coming down a hill. and there's a lot of side streets, and you're going fast. I like to have that flashing so the motorists, it's a lot harder for them to miss me. I've had one instance where someone missed me still, or they were just being a jerk. I'm undecided on what actually happened, but that was my second close call since Thanksgiving, so kind of one of the reasons what prompted this video. So yeah, be seen, cycle smart, cycle defensively, and don't think that the unthinkable isn't possible, because it certainly is. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks for listening and tuning in, and we'll see you again the next time. Cycling into heaven.